we just learned how important it is to make sure that you do junk removal the right way and the critical issues that surround that, because it's a lot of stuff that people really care about. Stay tuned. We got it. Welcome back, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. Again, we enjoy working with experts in the different areas, but this is one that's recently something I've dealt with. And boy, when you have a house or two, or some people have passed on to heaven, right? We know they're going to heaven, but they left some stuff behind. And now we've got to reorganize, and we've got to get things in order. And there's a lot of stuff that's got to be hauled off and put in the right places. You don't know what to do. It can be quite a bit of a stressful event. We've got some experts here to talk about it. The expert company, Goldkamp Junk Removal, brother and sister here. On the set next to me here, Zach Goldkamp, and on their end over there, Mary Dare. I said it right.
Yes.
2 for 2. And think about it, it's spelled a little differently than what you might expect. But experts in the junk removal space, and something that just so many people don't realize, with great power becomes great responsibility. And you guys have really dug into that. Mary, continue with what we were finishing up there with a little bit. What are the big mistakes people make? And it's trying to cut corners too much and hire somebody who's throwing the stuff out in an alley you were talking about. Elaborate on that for me a little bit more, if you would.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely people trying to save a buck, which we understand, and we do everything we can to keep the prices down. But sometimes we'll go with competitors that are very obviously underpriced, and they will take it and then they'll dump whatever trash that they have gotten on the side of the road. They'll find an empty lot and dump it. They'll find a little patch of forest and dump it. Sometimes you'll see a couch on the side of the highway. And yeah, the big risk with that, with you, the person getting rid of your junk, is that it could get traced back to you, and you're the one responsible for that. So being with a company that is licensed and insured and a responsible company is going to give you that your own assurance that you're not going to get in trouble for dumping illegally.
Yeah, or what are some of the things that happen? If they get a fine for littering, and it could be up to, depending on how much damage, it could be a potential felony, or what goes on here? I didn't realize the risks that people are taking.
You can definitely get fined. I don't know if it goes much further than that. Zach would be the expert on that one. But
nobody likes to fine,
you can get fined. So when you're trying to save $50 and then you get a $100 fine, that doesn't really weigh out, and then you still have junk.
Yep.
You've seen this happen.
Yeah, so the way that'll work is you'll get a fine, and then you'll still be responsible for the removal. So you'll have to hire a real company to do the job the right way. So not only did you not save the money you thought you were going to save, you ended up spending more and getting an unpleasant phone call or knock on the door from the police. So yeah, you will be held liable when it's your stuff that's getting dumped on the side of the road.
And they have great technology and all kinds of ways to track this back.
Yeah, the world is smaller than it has ever been. So there's a good chance they're going to find your piece of mail that was stuffed in the cushions of the couch or something,
Okay.
And it's coming back to your place.
There you go. And how often do we see that piece of furniture on the side of the highway or something that wasn't tied down right because you got some guys that weren't doing this the right way?
Yep.
And boy, that causes a hazard for everybody too. And I guess there's deservedly so. You're going to get a nice fine for that because you're putting at risk a lot of people's lives. Something the other day I'll never forget. And I got the new Tesla now, so it steers for me, but it doesn't always detect things in the road. And it did avert it, I guess, last second. It was big enough. But I hit a cup the other day. I didn't notice, and I see anyway, but you run into something, if you're not having a car dodge it for you, you got to hit something, you cause damage to your car, it cause you to have an accident. These are bad things, and people they're just being lazy.
Yeah.
I'm remembering right now driving behind someone when it was an off day for me. I was actually with my wife on our way to, I believe we were taking our son to the St. Louis Aquarium, and we're driving behind another junk hauler, and I was commenting on his load and the way it was strapped or not strapped, and literally the backboard with the hoop on it of a basketball hoop came flying off straight at us. Luckily we were looking at it and talking about it when it happened, because I was able to avoid it. I told my wife, I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why you hire a real company. I'm sure that gentleman was working very hard that day. I'm sure he didn't intend for that to happen, but it almost went straight through our windshield. So, yeah, these things happen.
This could be scary for a lot of people. Yeah, this is something you do not want to cut corners when it comes to getting rid of your junk. You may think that they're not going to trace it back to you, but these days with satellites and everything, it can. Where's your cell phone? I mean, there's just so many ways they can do that. Not a way to cut corners for something you want to try to save a few bucks and put people's lives in jeopardy. Residential, commercial, what do you guys specialize in? How much of each? I guess if you're working for charities, that could be deemed commercial. But you work for everybody. Everybody's got junk, I guess.
Yep, anything and everything. So we'll do anything from a single item removal, one piece of furniture, to an entire warehouse. Most recent commercial job we did was an HVAC supplier was moving from St. Louis to New York, and they had a bunch of outdated equipment. Not sure how familiar everyone is with Freon, but periodically the government removes the old Freon and puts in a new one. So it, over a long enough period of time, becomes illegal to install the old equipment. They had a warehouse full of this old equipment, still with the Freon in it. But that is something that we also do, being that was the beginnings of our company, was hauling for HVAC companies.
Okay.
And so we were able to clean out this whole warehouse, bring all the stuff back to our shop, see that all the refrigerant was recovered, sent to where it's supposed to go. We use a certified national lab that actually recycles it instead of venting it, is the industry term, but that just means cutting the lines and letting it blow out.
Right.
Which is very illegal. You want to talk about fines, that's way worse than throwing a couch on the side of the road. I believe in Missouri, the fine for that is $46,000 per incident per day. So you don't want to get caught blowing Freon out, which we do not do. We recover everything, refrigerators, air conditioners, anything with refrigerant. We treat everything as if it's loaded until we find out it's not. So we bring it back, we recover it, separate the materials and recycle them. But yeah, that was our most recent commercial job, an HVAC warehouse.
Interesting. Yeah, that's something that you have a specialty in, a certification or whatever it is. But you are specialized in that, because that's something. What do they do with the old units? And they've got Freon. It's 22 or whatever the number is for that stuff. And they pull it out. Where does it go? And you can't just let it in there. So these guys have collected it over years, and you had to help them get rid of that.
That's right. Yeah, I am EPA 608 certified, so we can legally recover Freon and send it off. We send it to a laboratory that puts it through all their magical processes, which is way above my pay grade. I'm not a chemist, but
right.
They recycle it, make it usable again, and they put it into markets where it can legally be used.
Okay.
That way, again, it's not being blown out into the atmosphere, causing all the damage that does. And the materials themselves, the compressors and all that, we see that gets recycled as well.
Wow. Mary, there's a lot to manage here. How will you get involved with all of this?
So mostly I'm behind the scenes. So I'm the one working the website, working our advertising, going to meetings to meet new potential commercial clients and residential clients. I'm the one out in the community, which Zach is right there with me, but I'm a little bit more behind the scenes. I do sometimes go and get my hands dirty and do some junk removal, but we're expecting baby number 4, so I had to step back from doing the junk removal, and now I'm doing mostly the communications and meeting our commercial clients and things along those lines.
Okay, yeah, lots of responsibility there too. I mean, when you start talk commercial, there's a lot of money at stake, and if these companies, especially if they're dealing with Freon, you guys work together to make sure that all is properly managed, or you can get EPA is not fun to deal with. Is that who they're?
Yep. You do not want them barking at your door.
Yeah,
that's for sure. What do you like about St. Louis and the market we've got here? I'll start off with you on this one, Mary. Great city, but tell me what you like about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're born and raised in St. Louis. We know how it's such a tight-knit community, and people value a family business, and people value a family in the St. Louis area, and that's something that's important to us. And we like to create a family environment, but also like just a happy, nice, not so serious environment. And I think that in the St. Louis community, in just the Midwest in general, people appreciate that. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it is a great community, and there's lots to be done. But you've got to get that junk removed, everybody.
Yeah.
Experts to do that. Zach, give me some of your feelings about St. Louis and what you've learned here and enjoy.
Well, as she said, St. Louis born and raised. We're a couple of Flowtown kids. Before anyone asks the St. Louis question, McClure North. That's where we went. That is the St. Louis question. And yeah, it's our family's been in this region, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, for centuries, really. We've been here for a long time, and so it's really cool for me to be able to work in the same area that my family has been, literally building up since it was farms. And really just being a part of it, helping to grow something that our own specific immediate families can be involved in. We come from a long line of family businesses, so sort of keeping the tradition alive.
Well, that's good to see, because our St. Louis community deserves to have people who've been here for so long, dedicated so much of their life, and creating small businesses for all of us to enjoy and help the community. We love to see it. Tell me a time, though, as many years have you been involved, where you had somebody you could tell was just in a tough situation, and you said, we're going to help out here, we're going to take care of this. Somebody was between a rock and a hard place, if you will.
I could help with that one. We have someone that we, know through the community that have gone through a hard time, and we were able to take care of some of their junk for them, which we're not always able to do that, and we try to give discounts and do what we can as much as possible. But that's one instance where we were able to take care of someone's junk for them after going through a tough time losing a spouse. And then we also, the Habitat for Humanity, doing demolition, something we haven't talked about on the show yet, but we also do demolition, and we were able to help just the nicest lady get we did all the land clearing in the back of her yard. We were able to tear down her old shed that had rusty nails and was kind of a hazard. And I think there was maybe a possum that got rehomed in the situation, but we were able to clean it up and make it a place that she should spend her time.
Okay, yeah, good community stuff there, and I guess there's a lot of that needs to be going on, because so many people, like I said, most times this is a situation where somebody has lost a loved one, and they've got a house, and you've got to come in there in a dire situation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get to help people.
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool. We'd like to see that. What's been one of the biggest challenges you guys have been through as business owners? I can only imagine so often you're dealing with some pretty critical stuff here, whether it's people have a lot more damage or more junk than they realize, or what are some of the challenges that you see people go through when they're dealing with their junk?
Well, personally, a huge challenge was going from flying solo like I did in the beginning to developing a team and learning how to manage all these different moving parts while keeping the focus on the customer. But we're getting pretty good at that, and we got an awesome team. And just the sheer amount of junk that needs to be moved. It's bigger than I ever thought. While this is something I'm actually friendly with a few other junk removal owners as well, good guys that I like, and they do good work as well. They don't throw stuff on the side of the road. And that's what I tell them every time we talk. I'm like, we don't need to be combative with each other. There's trash everywhere. Just drive down the street and look. So the sheer amount of stuff that needs to be cleaned up is a challenge in and of itself.
There you go. Lots to be had out there. Lot that needs to be handled out there. Mary, you've dealt with this now. What are some of the challenges you've seen that people have to overcome that you're helping them get their lives back in order?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at what a client is going through, we've talked on it multiple times, but just going through that hard time and just making it easy for them. the challenge of trusting someone to come into your house, the challenge of trusting someone isn't going to scratch up your floor, they're not going to ding up your walls, and that's where, we come in and kind of help people feel better. We've been doing this for so long that they feel more comfortable with us coming in. So yeah.
Great power comes great responsibility, as we mentioned there before. You got a lot here going on because you are going into people's homes and pulling out things that sometimes that they care about, that you've got to help them, coach them a little bit, I guess might be one way to say that.
Yeah.
But obviously you guys with the expertise you've got know what you're doing. With that, we're going to share some more of the community stuff we've been involved with, and we'll be back here in just
Featuring Kansas City versus St. Louis. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. Standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 160 pounds, representing Kansas City Guns and Hoses and the Platte County, Missouri Sheriff's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hannah Blacklock. And her opponent fighting tonight out of the blue corner.
I like Francis here better.
At 5 feet 7 inches tall, she weighed in at 159 pounds. And she represents St. Louis Guns and Hoses and the Belleville Police Department. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Angelina Freed.
You don't want to pick a fight with these girls.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com. And if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds. And you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show. And there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. Well, we talk about how the media has changed the way the world functions. Pick up our book here, This is a good one for you. Magnetized Media. Yours truly wrote the introduction here. And so Cardi essentially wrote the first chapter. I was like, well, you guys knew I could contribute. I appreciate them offering that. But that's the #1 seller on Amazon. But if you'd like to learn a little bit how media can change the way your business can grow, we've got all kinds of tips here. I've got a list of 17 steps that I can give people that'll show them how to best use content like this and what you can do to really get your business name out there. Because if you're not doing it, your competitors are. So you've got to stay on the ball here. But with that, tell me, who wants to tell me about how technology has changed? Is this a question for you, Mary? You're
Yeah,
managing
maybe
the
a little more
websites
for
and
me.
Social
Yeah.
media. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so when I joined in about 3 years ago, we started making a plan because he didn't even have a business card. You know, it was just
I didn't even have a computer.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. So I said, okay, let's make a plan. So we got our Google business profile. Those almost 100 reviews are from the last almost 2 years and not the whole time of the business. But yeah, so being able to reach people through Facebook, having a website where people can hop on and as you can see, we have the free estimates where you can reach out to us and we can get an estimate to you or come out to your property and get an estimate to you. So yeah, it's made a big difference with that. And then our communicating with our clients, we have a system set up where we let you know when you've booked, we let you know when we're on our way there, we let you know when the process is done, and you can pay digitally. You don't have to pay us cash or write us checks. You can just pay with your credit card right there. So it's really streamlined our processes, and the business helped with the growth tremendously.
There you go. Tell me then, is it nice to have somebody who's an expert like this to make sure that this all gets done, right? How often do we, Zach, we don't have the technology expertise. That would be my mom. You saw her call me earlier. She's like, where is this going? Is he sending it to you? Because if it comes to me digitally, she's afraid she will lose track of it. But good partnership here for you. With your
Yeah,
sister.
I'd say so. Nice would be putting it lightly. Yeah, without Mary, this all would come to a screeching halt, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, the technology on my end of things and more the operations side has also been crucial in being able to do as much as we do on a daily basis. We just through smartphones and using different apps can schedule multiple trucks going to multiple jobs. We can allow the different crews to see where each other are in case we have, let's say we got a real big job and these guys doing a small one, they want to swing over here to back up the other crew. It's all so smooth and can all be done from this thing that's right here in my pocket right now. If I wanted to, I could get it out and schedule a job while we're sitting here, which is just crazy to me.
Isn't it crazy now that you can essentially run your business from your smartphone? These things have
It's amazing.
Everything you can imagine you can handle from here. By now, with the new Tesla, that's the key to my car. So if you're going to get in my car, you take my cell phone from me. Don't tell me about it. I think you've got to be, there's some parameters in there, but it's just amazing the way technology has changed the way it is. And having Mary on your team, happens to be your sister.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to make this all work. Boy, yeah, business can go down quickly if they don't keep up with the technology. So that's good to have. A good partnership.
Without Mary, not only would I not know how to use a CRM, but I wouldn't even know what a CRM was.
I was going to say,
So-
what's a CRM? CRM stands
Yeah.
for Client Relations Management.
Yep.
That's what I used to sell back in the day, and we still offer one that's great and that ties in everything too that we're a referral partner with. But yeah, got to have the technology. CRMs manage your clients. I like the way you automated this way people can schedule and pay and all that stuff. That's dynamite for a lot of people to make sure it easy, make it easy for them, right?
Yes.
Well, tell me then, what's the biggest mistake that some of your competitors make that you said, we won't make that mistake? Don't name the competitor, obviously, but some of the things you've seen them, some of the mistakes they've made.
Well, first there's the obvious that we already talked about of cutting corners and wanting to essentially trash our city, our area, our neighborhood in the name of saving a few dollars and supposedly passing the savings on to the customer. Ends up costing everyone in the end. That's the biggest one.
Is that because anybody can just say, hey, I've got a pickup truck, now I'm a junk removal.
That's exactly
Chuck in a
right.
truck.
Yeah, Chuck in the truck. Yep, he's a competitor, kind of. But yeah, that one stands out the most because it's so visible and frankly so upsetting to drive down the street and see trash everywhere. Before I was in this industry, I always just thought, oh, something flew out of a trash truck or off someone's pickup truck when they were moving it on accident. Now that I'm in the industry, I know otherwise. I know 95% of what you see on the side of the road is probably there on purpose.
Really, they just cut it loose right now. This is a place to let this go.
Yep, easy and cheap. I've even seen people say it flat out on Facebook and other places. And when I'm, comment and tell them, like, you know that person is throwing that on the side of the road, and they say, that's not my problem. And then they find out it is.
Yeah.
They find out it is their problem because they're making these comments publicly, and the police can easily track that down. So, but, as far as the more reputable competitors, spreading themselves too thin, which I've been guilty of in the past too, trying to do too much, and really trying to be everywhere at once. Building this team has been a journey in so many different ways for me.
Right.
Because I was the solo guy and I was the it's okay, I got it guy.
Right.
And we get so much more done now that we have a team. You got to find people who are willing to be a part of the team that really want to, adopt your culture. But once you find it, it is such a game changer. It's hard to even put into words.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good wrap on it here and making it work and successful in the 99 reviews that are all 5-star, everybody. That's impressive. That's tough to do. Well, tell me the process. Somebody wants to hire you guys. How do they go about doing so?
Yeah, so you can go on our website and you can submit a form. It's just basic. You can see put in your name, phone number, email, and what you want help hauled off with. And if we can't give you an estimate via text, or we'll call you, if we need to go in person to see it, we just schedule a time that works for you. If it's in your backyard, you don't have to be there, or if you would like to, you can be there. So we go, we get the estimate to you, or if you just want to get the junk removed, we can come and pick it up right then and there. So you schedule the estimate, we go and give you the estimate, tell you how much it'll be. You can say yes or no, no obligation, and then we will haul it off right then and there. And then, like I said, we can just shoot you a text with a link to pay, and then you just pay while we're there, and easy as can be. If you got your credit card saved on your smartphone, then it's just a matter of seconds. You can have your bill paid.
Yeah, tap to pay, or just pull up our phones now do everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very smooth process, yeah. And that brings up another interesting point too, as far as estimates and even getting the jobs done. Sometimes people can't be there, which comes right back around to trust again, why it's so central to us. We work with a lot of realtors, and they don't hesitate to send us to vacant or recently moved out of houses because they know we're not going to go there and damage things. No one's going to try and steal anything. We're going to get in there. We're going to take care of the place. And when we get out of there, it's going to be picture perfect and ready for them to sell.
There you have it, everybody. Some experts here. Junk removal, important. Get it done correctly. Stay tuned. This is Your Little Castle Show.